What's up, guys? Dave from betsum.com. Gonna go over a few of my daily fantasy plays for tonight. Um, I don't really have any bets I like tonight. I got hosed and housed and all that bad stuff last night. Betting on the Knicks at home, +4 against the Raptors. It wasn't a line that I probably would bet all the time, but I like to try and lean towards spots like this when it's a +2.5 when it should be +5. Not +4 when it should be like +6 or 7. And the public, the money was actually quick. I'm not even sure if it was the public. It was just the money jumped on the Raptors quick. It was like 90-10, but it ended up settling at 70-30. So overall, maybe a spot I would have thought about a little more. I might not have taken, but I don't really see anything tonight that I love at all. So we're gonna jump right into daily fantasy. We got the highest total of the night here, 220 about. Sacramento at home against the Nuggets, or I'm sorry, away at Denver. So that's a game you definitely want to be targeting. I feel like Denver players will have a little extra juice that game than usual, having to try and keep up with the fast-paced Kings and being forced into a faster-paced game than usual. So there might be some value in some players like that. Same could be said about Utah and a few other teams, but that's the highest point total of the night. We also got a decently high one with the Pelicans, as per usual, at the Wizards, 214, 213. And we got a couple 210s here. Our lowest one being 202, the Rockets, surprisingly, but at the Jazz, who are a very slow-paced team, good defense. So we're going to be trying to get teams, or trying to get some players from these high total games. And we'll start with a few of the plays that I like. At point guard tonight, I love JRUE Holiday. I like him for a number of reasons. The first reason being, I think his value lately, the way he's been playing and the amount of fantasy points he's been pretty consistently been scoring, is pretty incredible. So he's got 55, 45, 45, 54, 40. And he needs about 40 to 50, maybe 45 exactly, really, to pay for that price tag, or to make him worth it. And he pretty much gets that, and then plus some, a good amount too. And he can blow up for even larger. So anyway, considering the fact that he hits his value so often at 40 to 45, and then even eclipses it a good amount, and he never really lays an egg, I just think he's great value right now at 7,400. I think his price tag, his price should be more like 7,800, 8,000. Again, one of the higher point totals of the night. So I like JRUE Holiday in this spot. Pretty good matchup too here against Washington, who doesn't rebound the ball and lets up a lot of points. So all in all, I like JRUE Holiday a lot tonight. Gary Harris at shooting guard, he's a value play that I like tonight. He's only 4,700, and as you can see here, he's got a really good OPRK at home against Sacramento. And again, I was saying how we want to look for some of these Nuggets players that perhaps have a little extra juice in them tonight because of that matchup. So Gary Harris, I mean, for 4,700, he clearly has always really played the minutes to warrant that price tag. So he has a pretty high floor of like 20 to 25. Like, he's pretty much putting up those 22 to 28 point games consistently, as you can see. So that's pretty much right where he should be. You should be getting 25 to 30 from him. 25 is a decent game. 22 a little under average. But if he gets 30 or more, then you got a good deal on him. And tonight, as we said before, we're looking for these Denver players to have a little extra juice. So we're in a spot where we might usually get 22 to 28. I'm looking for him to get like 26 to 35 in this spot tonight. Obviously, with this matchup for a really weak and defense fast-paced team. So I like Gary Harris tonight at shooting guard. Another thing to keep in mind is that he does put up a lot of shots, which, even though he hasn't had a great game in a while, it's nice to see someone so cheap put up that many shots, because if he can get hot, then he's got a higher ceiling than most 4,700 players. So I like him tonight due to that high total. So Rudy Gay. So we have the Kings game again. same game. That's going to be the highest total. So we have a few players from the Kings game that are interesting that are on Sacramento due to this questionable tags. We have Rondo, DeMarcus Cousins, and also Rudy Gay, who I'm looking at. And I picked Rudy Gay and Rondo as who I like tonight. I really like both of them tonight, and I'm not so high. I mean, how can you not be high on Cousins? But I'm not so high on him right now for two primary reasons. I like the other two and not him tonight. Let's get the first obvious one out of the way. He hasn't really been performing as much as his price tag. Like, so this price tag, he needs like almost 70 points to pay for himself. You know, if you're going to that by that 300 to 325 point goal, and he's really only gotten that once in the past few weeks. In the past 10 games, he's only gotten it twice. I mean, you know, he's getting 82 and 60 and on the reg, and that's good, but he really needs like 70. That's a really expensive price tag that he's got. So for that reason, he hasn't really been hitting that 70 point mark that often. He's only hit it 2 times, whereas Rudy Gay and Rondo kind of regularly crush that equation. As you can see here, Rondo, he needs about 17, 34, 50 points-ish to pay for himself, and he regularly gets that. He regularly eclipses that. So, or at least his past 5 games, he's been regularly eclipsing it. So, DeMarcus Cousins, who rarely has been touching his high price tag point value, Rondo's been regularly kind of eclipsing that, so he's a little bit better value in that way. And Rudy Gay is about hitting his. You know, you want Rudy Gay to get you about 36, 37 points. He's had 36 the last 2 games. He had the one game where he didn't really play, that he didn't score any points, but he's also capable of going off for a lot more. So so 5 of his last 10 games, he's hit his mark that you need him to hit, or barely over. And then 2 of those games, he eclipsed it by a wide margin. So 7 of his last 10 games, he's gotten the points you want from him or more, and 2 of them he got way more. That he's the highest point total of the night. So, I mean, he's a great play tonight, in my opinion, and he's a great, consistent play at 6,700 right now, as long as he's not against a super slow-paced team. So let's just go to the second reason why I'm going to fade Cousins tonight, and this is his questionable tag. So Rondo also has a questionable tag. I'm not as worried about Rondo. I'm actually not worried about either of their questionable tags, but they don't want to lose. Cousins is gonna sit more frequently than Rondo in this spot. Rondo's had this turf toe thing now for a while, I think for like 3 weeks, and he keeps playing. So, I mean, he's been listed as questionable, but he just keeps playing, and he keeps playing extremely well. So I mean, I think that in itself is enough proof-ish, or like, you know, I'm comfortable playing him. Whereas, you know, if you look at DeMarcus here and his questionable tag, he just kind of got bruised up this weekend. So they're saying he should be fine for the game, but he was limited at practice, so they're advising you to double check his status. So he's probably not in jeopardy, and I think he's not performing up to his price tag, aside from this last game where he had 70. As much as he should be, and he's got this iffy new injury that they're kind of wary on. So even if he does end up starting, maybe he aggravates it and plays 20 minutes, and he really screws you. I mean, if you miss on a guy like this, your lineup really gets killed. So he's so expensive, he's a little risky, and he hasn't been paying for himself the last 5 to 10 games. So that being said, also these guys, Willie Cauley-Stein and Costa Koufos, if DeMarcus doesn't play, will be decent plays. They might be decent plays anyway, but I'm gonna lean towards Rudy Gay and Rondo for those reasons that I just said. So Now let's move on to Jason Smith. So here's another value play. It's kind of a gamble here. He's 3,100, so he's super cheap. So if he scores you 20, you'll be thrilled, you know. You want him to get you about 16, 17, you know, points, something like that. And he's been hitting that. Like he's 16, 17, 27. I mean, that's great. If he can get you 27 at 3,100, he's done his job for sure. 12, 13, 24. So he's almost or regularly hitting this, his value here recently. And he's been shooting the ball a lot more the last 3 games than he was prior. He's almost doubling his shooting the last 3 games, and he has been playing a lot more minutes. He took a little bit of a step back last game, but it's clear that his minutes are on the rise from like, you know, 10 to 15 to like 18 to 20, and his shots are doubling, and he's still only 100 more than he was. So he's got a good matchup at the Sixers tonight, and you know, who are a very soft team, so I think he's got a little extra juice there, or a little extra value there because of that. And you know, he's got a really shitty OPRK, so you know, I like him for all of those reasons. I think he's a great value play tonight if you need someone cheap because you're trying to load up elsewhere, yada yada yada. So let's move on to VUCEVIC. So again, we have a Magic player at the lowly 76ers. VUCEVIC has been playing very well. Obviously, a great matchup, great OPRK. They're only 6-point favorites, so VUCEVIC probably will see his normal 35 minutes plus. And he's really been getting his values worth too. You know, you're looking at him to get you like 43 to 47, 45 points-ish. And he's gotten that 46, 49, 56. So 3 of the last 4 games he eclipsed it. And so he's playing really well right now. And I think that with the frequency that he eclipses his value and his ceiling plus his matchup, he's a slam dunk at 7,400 tonight. So I really like him. Here's a definite gamble, Markieff Morris. And I'm not really going to play this guy in a lot of lineups, but I thought I'd put him in this one and just to share my reasoning why. I'm sure other people are seeing the same thing. I mean, it's only a 5-game slate tonight, so not a lot of plays, but you know, he's newly traded to the Wizards, and he's just getting acclimated, and his price is still a little high, but you know, you really want him to get you around 30 to 35, and he can clearly do that. Look at that. Before the trade, he was scoring 40 to 45 pretty regularly, with a floor of about 25, and he even put up a 60-point game a few times this year. So I mean, that kind of potential is huge for that price tag. Now that being said, he's only played 20 minutes past 2 games. So I think that they got Morris so he'd start. The question is when is he going to start? And I think that the 3rd game here he should see some more minutes. I think we're going to see him get an uptick to like 28 minutes this game. And again, we have the Bullets who are playing the Pelicans, who are a super fast-paced team. So his usual value should be he should have a little more value than his usual amount. So, and he's been shooting the ball poorly these first 2 games. So, and even with that, he's scoring 17 points. I mean, that's nothing impressive, obviously, but if you're looking for this guy to get you 35, I think that he's going to be faded. And he's got, due to his matchup, I mean, it's not much of a better matchup, and the fact that he's going to start scoring a lot when he starts playing a lot of minutes, and I think this is the matchup where he does that. I'm going to gamble on him. I'm looking at him to get me 35 plus, and with this matchup, and I think he can come out of nowhere, be faded by everybody else because of, you know, he's on a new team, and all of a sudden put up 50. So I like him tonight for those reasons. Last but not least, Barton. He's been kind of, you know, floating around obscurity after a hot start to the season, but I do like him tonight, and it's for the same reason as I said before. I like these Denver guards at home against Sacramento, running the floor with them all game. So I like Barton here for that reason. You're looking at him you want him to get you 30 plus, and he does get that somewhat regularly. You know, about 4 or 5 out of his last 10, he's hit his mark or more, and you know, he's even had a 45-point game and a couple 40-point games, and we've seen him go off more than a few times this season. So he definitely has that ceiling potential, and he plays about 25 to 30 minutes regularly, so he's got a nice floor too. And given the high point total in this game, I think he's an excellent play. So that's all I got for you tonight. Join me tomorrow, betsum.com, and we'll go over some more daily fantasy plays and sports bets.